everything. Let's see if I'm in the frame. Okay. Alright. Hello everybody, welcome back to another little video. Tonight I thought I would like to do a little bit of talking about some of my perspective, a little bit of my life, some meditation help, and we would focus on what's kind of going on in the Middle East a little bit, and especially people who are like trapped or in pain, suffering, being killed, being bombed, some of the worst kind of imaginable physical scenarios that we can think of that are happening today. So what can we do about it? So it's a little bit of applied magic or prayer or energy. So that's what we're going to focus on. I've done a lot of thinking about my own life, and I'm in my own place and position of thinking today that I kind of wanted to highlight a little bit. Let's see, just generally speaking, I just wanted to talk about the fact how, first of all, the general human condition envelops holistically one of wanting to connect and be a part of something and be loved and to love. In terms so when I'm talking about being connected with something, that's the kind of connection I'm talking about, this magnetic, very real, energetic relationship where we feel included and not excluded. I think a lot of us, myself included, have lived and continue to live a lot in this desire to be connected, feel connected with ourselves and others, right? Excuse me. So, I think, and what I see a lot in life and in people is one of detachment, or one of wanting to have the nicest brand of something to show off status. So that's a very physical representation of us wanting to feel included and belong, like we have worth, fame, success in our career, like we're accomplishing something with the car or whatever item we want to boast about. And really what it is we just want status. I see a lot of, especially in my transgender experience, there's a lot of things I notice. And I talk about it under the umbrella of cisgender privilege. But I do kind of want to digress a little bit here, a side note, in that these things can bother me. I could bring up things that bother me. And again, this is just another example of wanting to belong. So I have to ask myself these tough questions, like, why does it bother me so much? Or what can I do about it? Does it feel good for me to feel bothered by these things and angry? Perhaps the way I feel and emotions are valid and the experience is valid, but what good does it do me to dwell on those and continue to feel disconnected? So that's a little bit of the center of my message today. So regardless of what others might perceive of us, that's kind of the core of my message I wanted to talk about, is we want to feel like we belong. We want to feel like people understand us. We want to feel accepted, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think the core of life itself is one of just finding that connection on your own and through your own lived experiences, and not needing the external validation of others. So I was going to use myself as an example, like being with a lot of my transgender experiences. I have, and for other reasons too, but because of the experience of being transgender, I have displaced myself, not understood who I am, my sense of identity, and I have compared myself and continue to do so sometimes. I feel pain sometimes when I view cisgender heterosexual couples because I feel removed from that in my lived experiences. I feel outcast by society at large. And there's a lot of proof I could find for that. So those feelings are valid, but it's like, what do I want to do with that knowledge? What do I want to do with that feeling? I'm not that little girl anymore who's lost and can't find herself. I'm in a position now where I know so much about myself and about what's around me. And what I'm learning in through therapy and through my own exploration of my life and identity is that, and as I continue to focus on myself, my health, my well-being, my mental health, my emotional state and health, and my soul health, my spiritual health, feeling like I belong, like my life is worthy, like I don't need to explain myself. So it's a continual process of learning and growing and developing and continuing to unfold and grow. What I don't want to do as I'm going about my day is fixate on these kind of things and dwell on them in a state of trying to convince others to believe me, to get on the same page as me, to become defensive of anyone who's critical of people of different experiences. So the automatic reaction is to want to defend myself, to want to defend ourselves against that which we see as right or wrong, or in alignment with us or not. But we really only have control of ourselves, which is something I talk a lot about. And so that's kind of the crux of the message tonight. And something I see a lot is that we hang on and cling to these superficialities, these characters, the way we want to be perceived. I am a good person. I care about other people. Whatever it is, I have a high status. I have achievements. I have wealth. I have power. I have fame. I have enigma. Charisma. So, but what I see a lot is a lot of copying of other people, and so that is just another thing that I see, especially being transgender. It's kind of a little bit easy for me to see those things because I am removed a little bit from some of those mainstream pushes and experiences. And that subsequently can bring me pain. So this message is to myself as much as it is to anyone else watching. And so I'd like to kind of just get ourselves to let go of these expectations. Stop faking it. Let go of these masks and focus on the core of being that we really are, and not whether we're performing enough or looking good enough or whatever. So I'm going to do a little sound, so a headphone warning. This is just going to kind of secure this space, and also as the bell rings, let the ring of the bell shed away all these superficial facades that we have. And it can be scary to look within ourselves, but that's where I think we'll find the truth of what we seek in that connectedness. You can't really be connected to everything else without being connected to yourself. I think that's what drives a lot of us to feel connected with others, because we don't have enough understanding yet spiritually to know that we're enough. And so that's kind of a lifelong human achievement. So as the bell rings and resonates, let it shield you and melt away the facades that we carry. And breathe and relax and let all the worries and superficialness and facade melt away. I'm going to take a small moment here to do a separate segment on TikTok, so bear with me. So as I get started recording again on my laptop, somehow, you have to forgive me. I am a little bit of an older generation millennial. I was born in 1989, so I'm still kind of getting used to the TikTok functions, and I keep losing my video, so this might be posted a little backwards on TikTok, and that'll just have to be okay. I've already done the intro, so that's, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to kind of be all included together, and I'll segment it off for TikTok and do it accordingly. So I'm trying to record these on TikTok so that they're kind of uploaded more quickly and directly. So we'll see how it goes. Somehow I keep messing it up, but I'll figure it out, I'm sure. It seems like it's very easy to reset on TikTok before I have a chance to go on and upload it. So that's okay. I'll figure it out as I go along. So I already had an introduction to a discussion about facades and how we want to play up this character of who we are. And I think we kind of lose the search for ourselves in that by trying to prove to other people who we are. And the real, I think, truth of seeking the self has nothing to do with what other people think. So that's kind of the meat and potatoes of my open discussion. So now we're going to move more into meditation and focus on people who are suffering in the Middle East. So that's going to be a focus of mine tonight. Yeah. So we learn a lot from other people, and there's nothing necessarily wrong in comparing ourselves to other people. But I think that's where a lot of our disconnection comes from ourselves, and trying to fit a mold and feel like we belong, which is a major theme of the first segment of tonight's video. So that's in that part of it. So let's move on to, I did want to talk a little bit about meditation, and I'll just kind of lead us through a little bit of a meditation, and we'll focus on people in the Middle East. And this can work, if you're spiritual, if you believe in prayer, or if you just believe in energy work. You don't really have to believe in anything. But while we can do things on the ground, like reach our representatives and march, ultimately, especially in a country such as this one, United States, where it doesn't mean we shouldn't raise our voice and try to get something accomplished through the government. But as time and history have shown, the government doesn't listen to the people so much. So, not that it's a worthless fight, it isn't at all. But my point is, with all of this, we have very little that we can control. So my goal is to be focused on what can we do. The main thing that we can do is for ourselves, right? Be appreciative for where we are, our health, happiness, what we have. And what we can do with that focused energy also is send it out, like in prayer. So, and focus it on those who are needing something, needing healing, needing pacification, peace. So I've got my rose quartz heart I'm hanging on to here. You can use little things like this, or just use your mind. So we're going to do a little bit of walking into a meditation. You can feel free to join me, and I'll just kind of explain as I go. Focusing on the breath is really helpful and key in meditation, because it brings awareness, presence to the body and the function, and brings the presence in the body, and kind of anchors in a little more to not be so focused in on external or past, future things, or even present worries, and bring the focus into the body more. So breath is always a good way to do that. I also like to use mantras. I was going to bring some mantras in this. So we're going to focus in on our immediate surroundings. What do we have control over now? Is there anything we can change? Because the more we worry about something overseas, for example, we can't really change that. So let's first get focused within ourselves in more of a peaceful frame of mind. Relax, letting go, let facades go. Finding our center, finding that core. And you can use mantras, for example, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. A general peace mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. I like to use other ones, such as the White Tara mantra, Om tare tutare ture mama ayu punye nana putin kuru soha. Mother of all mothers, compassion. And so we can focus on things like this that are ancient or repetitive, repeated a lot throughout history and time. You can also use English in the mind and spoken aloud. It really brings precision of focus and concentration of power. It is my wish that all women, men, children, families, all people who are suffering in the Middle East find peace. Something that has a little nice rhythm or rhyme even, and you can repeat that. All women, men, children, families, all people in the Middle East find peace. It's a very general statement. Things like that. So we can do that for a few minutes. Om tare ture ture mamai punyi nana putin kuru soha. There's the Medicine Buddha Tantra mantra, mantra to the Medicine Buddha mantra is good at dispelling negativity. Teyaton bekanse maha bekanse rata samutskati soha. Teyaton bekanse maha bekanse rata samutskati soha. Teyaton bekanse maha bekanse rata samutskati soha. And as we can say things like that, you can use English, you can use whatever you like, whatever prayers, whatever mantras you like, visualizations, thoughts, and even along something like that I was just mentioning, you can I'm bringing downward motion with my hands. We're raining down and purifying, releasing worry, releasing pain, wishing peace and the removal of disease, of discomfort, of physical ailments, of being trapped under rubble, being bombed. We're going to try to visualize the pacification of those things that have already occurred that we cannot change, and the prevention of further destruction, pain. And just as like sunlight feeds plants energy, we can be reminded of the core energy of the universe that feeds into everything. And the sunlight just is there for leaves. There is energy there for those who are suffering. And we can focus on things like that and wish healing. So from here, I would kind of like to branch off into two things that we can do with this type of energy. Let's see where we are in time. I'll need to stop shortly. The first thing we can do is focus on those who are still here and suffering in the Middle East, for example, with our example. So there's nothing we can do about those who have passed already. We can't control that, but we can wish for peace and for rescue and for the cessation of attack on those remaining, the rescuing of those remaining. So that's what we can do. I'm going to segment off again and see if this works. And so bear with me again, please. I messed up again for my TikTok, so on the YouTube video, it's going to be all together. TikTok, I'm sorry, it's going to be a little jumbled until the geriatric millennial figures some things out. So that's okay. What we were just discussing and doing was using meditation, getting into the meditative state with mantras and things. And I was talking about how you can create your own mantras, but using the breath, getting in a meditative state for several minutes, and then once you're in a more calm state of being, envisioning things like sunlight feeding plants and leaves, that same kind of feeding source energy of love that we can spread. And what I was branching off into two things. What I was doing with that was when we're in more of a serene, focused, meditative place, what we can do with our energy and our focus. The first thing is we cannot change what's already happened. We can't really do much about those who have passed already. But what we can do something about in terms of with our energy and trying to affect something with prayer, with focus, with energy work, is to And it's just as simple as wishing well-being for someone. So we can focus in our mantra and in our meditation on those people who are currently suffering and can be rescued, who are able to be rescued. So that brings in more specific focus. Can't do much about anything that's already happened, but we can focus our intent on what is presently happening and what is to come. So any trapped children, women, men, people, families, we're wishing them comfort and healing, and that they will be rescued, removed from trouble, pain, discomfort, that they will be treated, food to those who need it, that we're wishing that the barriers be taken down, people be rescued, that the violence will stop, no more bombing. We can even direct this to leaders in the other, in such as those making the decisions for Israel right now. We can focus this energy towards them. Breathe. Have them, imagine them breathing and relaxing with you. I no longer want to attack. I no longer think it's necessary to attack. Whatever works for you. There is no need to attack. Please stop attacking. I'm not going to attack that which is not mine. I'm no longer going to fight. Release tension, release tension. Release aggression. We're focusing on pacification and calming and peace. Easing of the mind of these individuals who are focusing on attack and using weapons at the same time. And also we can be focused on those who it is affecting, that they find the medical assistance they need, the food assistance they need, all the resources, as if a parent welcoming a child and taking care of all of its needs. I'm going to imagine that this is happening now. And breathe and relax, breathe and relax. And that all best possible outcomes will happen from this point forward. We can even, this is where I wanted to segment it off into two different kind of sections. We can't do anything to change those who have already passed. But what we can do is wish well-being for their spirit, for their life, honor them in memorialize them. If their spirits, no matter what you believe, the experience of passing away in a situation like that is very traumatic for those who survive and for those who don't survive. So we can wish, just as we wish for the physical well-being and replenishment of the survivors, we can do the same thing for those who have passed. Again, we can't affect the past, we can't bring them back, but we can certainly wish them light and peace and well-being. And that all will find harmony in the allness and the wholeness and the everything that is. That they are not separate spirits, they are not destroyed, they are not in despair. If they are in despair, we wish them peace. They are welcome back in the energy of the all, the loving energy of all things that drives the living force behind all things. We wish peace for all their souls, all of them, that they may join the angels, God, whoever. But all of it, all of the loving, divine peace they might find. We are sorry for what has gone. And we wish to do as much as we can from this point onward in focusing our energy in solutions, in peaceful resolutions, both with meditative focus as well as our own outreach actions in our local communities. The point of this message tonight in meditation practice is to focus away from that which is so far outside ourselves and that which we don't have control over, first of all, bringing ourselves within ourselves and aligning ourselves and becoming into more of an awareness meditative state, and then focusing that energy of peace and calm and healing and health to those that could use it now living and suffering in this world. And also you can do the same if you wish to have an effect on that which is already past and those who have already been negatively affected and killed, to wish them peace, to wish their surviving family and loved ones peace, to wish the suffering of those who are watching from afar peace, and also to know that these souls have purpose and are loved by people like you and me, and that both the lives of those who have been lost and the lives that are still there, that are being attacked, and the lives of all beings in the future, that we want peace for all beings, healing, health, and harmony for us all. And these are sort of practices that we can use. So yeah, I welcome any kind of questions in my comments. If I'm open to answering questions. These are just things that you and I can do. Maybe we can join on here more regularly and meditate together, but I kind of wanted to give a little bit of a descriptive process of what you can do, how you can do it. The focus is to take away focus from pain and suffering yourself and that which you don't have control over, and trying to apply more anchored, connective, loving energy to yourself and to others, and to wish for. There's nothing wrong or shameful about wishing for the best possible outcomes for all. And like I said, we can't do anything about that which has already come to be, but we can wish for the most well-being possible from this point forward. And that's kind of where our power lies, both with ourselves and with others. So in addition to using your voice and your actions, energy focus is very real as well. So if you believe in a deity, or if you just wish for well-being for the world to recognize, and those players in the world who are bringing and continuing to introduce terror and pain and suffering and dwelling on that and using it to attack, we want to wish that all of that starts to melt away, and we recognize our worth and the worth of every being, and that we can choose to be happy, and we can choose to affect others and be examples of what harmony is, and peace and happiness. Yeah, so I guess I just make it disappear. I just gonna have to do the lap from now on. Well, let me know if you have any questions, anything else. Until next time, I'll see you in another video. Thank you. Bye. May peace resound everywhere, and may we start to heal and change into more of connectivity and oneness and wholeness instead of fighting. Good night.